in teaching I have been taught. And the reason is that I learned, even as a practitioner, when I didn't know what truth was and yet was healing, I learned never to depend on yesterday's manna. Forget about yesterday's manna. When you're called on to heal, sit down and turn to the Spirit within and let it provide fresh manna. Some truth may have come to you yesterday that healed a very serious illness. And if you try to repeat that truth with your mind today, it might not even relieve a tiny headache. Why? Because there is no power in a statement of truth. The power is in the consciousness behind the statement. The power is in the consciousness behind the statement. The power is not in the statement. And that is why many metaphysicians memorize passages and then believe that by repeating those passages, there is power in them. There is some power, the power that you give them in belief. Certainly, as you have known, people have taken an aspirin tablet and believed they were healed of consumption with it. Other people have taken a hypodermic injection of plain water and their pain stopped immediately, if they had enough faith in the doctor. And so it is that if you can have enough faith in a statement of truth, it may do something for you. Not because it had power, because your faith gave it power. But ordinarily speaking, we really should not have faith in statements of truth, but in the consciousness from which the statements came. In other words, the Master gave us so clearly that I and the Father are one. Now, how many times do you think that statement has been repeated in the churches around the world? And if that statement had any power, we would all be in heaven. Or, the Master has made the statement, neither do I condemn thee, go and sin no more. Well, you know, the amount of times that has been repeated and read in Scripture, nobody should have a guilt complex in the whole world. Yet you know it isn't true. That statement hardly ever relieved anyone of their fear of punishment or their guilt complex. In other words, it isn't the statement that frees anybody. It is the consciousness of the Christ which came through Jesus. And so it is that if the statements of truth in the Bible or in my writings or in the writings of any of the authentic metaphysicians, and there are several authentic metaphysicians, Mrs. Eddy, Dr. Holmes, Mrs. Fillmore, if there was any power in their statements, there are enough statements in the world to heal the world, so that we wouldn't really need any teachers or practitioners. But you see, the power is not in those books. The power is not in those statements. The power is in the consciousness through which those statements came. And so it is today that when a teacher or practitioner says to a student or patient, fear not, God is with you, don't turn around and take hold of the statement and believe that it has power to do something, especially if you repeat it 100 times. Because that is not where the power lies. The power lies in the consciousness of the teacher or the practitioner making that statement.